Welcome to the Pitmaster Podcast. We're barbecue competition competitors that aim to share information, advice, tips, and tall tales about our favorite pastime. Head over to the pitmasterpodcast.com for all things Pitmasters, or follow us on your favorite social media platform.
Yeah, I mean, and nobody can kick my ass like I can kick my ass. Just remember that. It's true. So I don't worry about nobody else. I just cook my cook, and wherever I fall, and that's where I fall. As long as I don't beat my own ass, I'm fine.
Here are the hosts of the Pitmaster Podcast, Rusty Monson, head pitmaster of Salt City Barbecue, and the two-time grand champion pitmaster of Smoke Ain't No Joke Barbecue, the Anthony Luan.
All right, Pitmasters, on the show today, we have Steph Franklin of Simply Marvelous Barbecue, and as you know or don't know, one of my favorite rubs of all times. I mean that. Truly, truly, truly. I use it in every one of my cooks. Almost. We don't use it on chicken or brisket, but I use it on pork, use it on ribs.
I think after this interview, you're going to change.
I don't know. Maybe chicken. I want to try that on chicken, that Trinity. That'd be interesting. Yeah. But yeah, we talked to him. It's an honor to have him on. Like I said, such a great rub manufacturer and good guy and a hell of a competitor. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, besides that, what's going on? What do we have going on lately?
Not a whole. Oh man, today I did a cook at ThermoWorks, competition style, where it's a
look like a charcuterie, like a barbecue charcuterie.
Yeah. So
charcuterie.
I inserted some of your sausage into that for a competitive edge. So it was fun. What I really liked about it mostly, it's not just me cooking, which I enjoy, but it was also teaching some new people that haven't had that experience on competing or anything like that, and learning and just seeing the process. And they were hands-on. I showed them, I took a rack of ribs, just spare ribs, and took them down to the St. Louis cut and trimmed them out to competition style. And then they had their turn to do their ribs too. You know, it's really cool to just pass on that knowledge, especially with my coworkers, and try to hopefully get that fire ignited in them to where they feel more comfortable cooking on any kind of barbecue grill.
So basically you get paid to just cook barbecue charcuterie.
Pretty much. Yeah. Wasn't bad. It
looked fantastic. You guys go to Smoke Ain't No Joke on Facebook, or I think it's on Instagram too.
Yep.
You can see his little spread. Yeah. It looked delicious.
It was great.
All you had me at toast.
Yeah, the toast that put you over the edge.
Always.
Right?
I don't matter what it is. I mean, I love ribs. I see the ribs. I'm like, oh, ribs, toast. There's some toast.
Yeah.
I can down toast. It's almost scary. If you put toast and said you can eat unlimited garlic toast, or just straight up buttered toast in front of me, and I don't know if you can die from eating too much in one sitting. I'm sure you can, but that would be me.
Nice.
I would die of toast. How did he die? He died of toast. He ate too much toast.
What was it last week? You died of something else last week.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I don't know. Whatever. You died of something last week. So
did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I gotta go see a therapist. Walk me through these demons that I guess I have now.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. Jeez. A couple cooks we have coming up, guys. We do have the St. George SCA competition coming up this month. And we also have the Las Vegas one, which we talk about with our... No, we don't talk about it. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
But now it's grown to 70 competitors. You have Barbecue going down there. You have John Lindsay and them coming down. It's a who's who. It's going to be a lot of fun. And honestly, can I be honest?
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be. If you win that contest, good for you. It's the perfect Las Vegas competition,
right?
It's more luck, I think.
It's like literally taking the dice and throwing them and getting on a good hot run.
Yeah,
literally, that's what it's going to be like. Because I'm not going to guarantee it, but it's a double. We probably won't see repetitive cooks on the walks. Maybe one or two, but I think it's literally going to be a complete mix up. It's going to be nice. Hopefully, we have 20 different winners. You know?
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
So
it'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
So go down there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go, and I'll just be like fanboying over Barbecue.
Rusty will forget to turn a steak in because he's looking at the Barbecue pros, and he's like, "Oh, there's the camera," trying to get his head in there.
You know, the Arcasippy Live guys. Okay, hey guys, what's going on? I'm Rusty. I love you. Bye, and run away. But it's going to be a good time. But that St. George comp will be fun as well, guys. If you've never been to St. George, you got to go. It's better. It's like the heat of Vegas, but actually pretty. Vegas is the armpit of the world. It's a horrible place. And St. George has the things you like about going to somewhere like Vegas, but with the actual attractiveness of a town that should, I mean, besides Vegas, I mean, I give it a hard time, but it's all right.
It's all right.
But St. George is a pretty town. And it's a fun comp.
It's because it has these cliffs along the edge, you know, you feel like you're actually in the small western desert town, and that gives that really cool vibe.
Vegas comps are fun. I'm not trying to say Vegas comps are, because Christy Vanover runs a amazing competition, and they have a lot of cool stuff down there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But St. George is just pretty.
It is.
Actually, you know what? No, don't go. There's only 15 cooks there. I'm going to go. I'm going to cook it, and that's my chance to win. Go away. No, don't come. It's
Everybody
terrible.
come to beat Rusty.
St. George looks like it just got blown up by an atomic bomb. Don't go. It's awful.
There's dinosaurs there. There
were. It's actually cool. There's a museum down there.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've been through it.
There was a river. Must have been a lake.
Yeah.
And all of the dinosaurs would go and eat there before they died. And so there's all these like fossils and footprints that they've like kind of dug up, and
it's really cool.
So you can see like where they went, and it's kind of like cool.
Was it Johnson Farms?
Something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
But it's it's a cool competition, guys. If you guys can get down there. But yeah, I mean, what else? I'm flying out to Murfreesboro this week.
Oh, good luck with
that.
To
go take a class with Amy Mills at 17th Street Barbecue.
Nice.
On how to run a restaurant, barbecue restaurant specifically.
Good job.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, we suck.
Yeah.
I'm old. I broke my back.
Yeah.
I can't move. I move like a 90-year-old man right now. And I've had a cold that's lasted me for about 17 years now, it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's not COVID. I got tested 3 times.
We're still waiting for some more reviews to come in too.
Yeah, get some reviews, guys. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Those are always fun. Spotify does reviews now.
You can just rate on Spotify.
Oh, is that right?
Well, rate stars. Yeah.
How's that?
5. We have 5 stars.
We do?
Yes.
Who was it?
Me.
Yes.
I was like, I want to see what Rusty's talking about from last episode, so I went and did it.
Woo-hoo.
So, but then again, I don't know how many other people
to the moon, Anthony. Go to the moon. We got one.
Yeah, we got one.
It's gonna be fun. We can get more, right, guys? Everyone out there, we're gonna get more, right? Right.
Yes, we are.
Anyway, but other than that, not much going on, guys. We're going to have a lot of really good guests we have lined up. We're really excited about this year. A lot of cool people coming on the show and a lot of things to learn. So, but right now,
yep. And then also, before we get into that, you're listening to this on Thursday. Tomorrow, which is Friday, we're actually going to do a live, right? Is that our plan?
Yeah, we will do
Facebook Live.
We might do a live. We'll try.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're doing an on-site. Let's talk about this. Good.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. This is going to be really fun. So we're going to go to the Logan Barbecue Pit Stop up in Utah, and we're going to do a live with their butcher there and talk butchery, which will be super fun.
Yeah.
And it'll be live. You guys can come and hang out. Maybe we'll have some free stuff to give out. I know I'll probably bring us some shirts and some hats you guys can have if you come. We'll have some cool stuff to give out. So just stop by the Barbecue Pit Stop in Layton and just say hi. We'd love to meet you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always fun for us when people come up and say, hey, you know, like, we listen to your show, and it's so much fun always to hear that. So if you guys want to stop by and high five us, low five us,
whatever, thumb war. Oh
no, I know what. Yeah, thumb war. I need to practice. I need to beat Sterling Ball and kick his ass because that was a sham.
Oh man,
and Sterling Ball is a cheater. When it comes now,
you're really gonna go here.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
He needs to he's a cheater when it comes to thumb wrestling. Everything else, he's a stand-up American. I'm a big fan of Sterling Ball. Not a big fan of his thumb war tactics. I hope too that I can practice a little bit more when I get to him again. I'll defeat him, and then I will retire officially from thumb wars.
Well, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to retire. So you might have figured out.
We'll see.
But yeah, guys, get out there and leave us a review. Our last review was in August. August 23rd.
Gosh.
Yeah. We know you're listening. We see the numbers.
Yeah, we see the numbers.
Just give us a review.
We know when you're listening. We're like the Santa Claus of podcasts. I can see you right now.
Yes.
So I can see you right now, Jason.
There's not one from 2022. Let's get that on there. Who's going to be the first? Whoever the first is, I'm going to send him a sticker. Pitmaster podcast sticker, and
you won't. No, you'll say that you will, but
no, I really will. I'm good to go.
I would die. I'd pass out if you were able to.
I'm going to do it. So
literally pass out.
I'm going to send you a sticker, whoever you are, that's going to leave us a review on Apple Music.
Or wherever. All right, we're rambling.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, enjoyed this interview with Steph, and like we did, I had a really good time talking to him. Super happy he came on. Big fan. If you've never tried his rubs, I'm telling you right now, get them on meat. You're going to thank me for it. They're fantastic. All right, here we go. Enjoy, guys.
We call it Thermapen 1, the first true 1-second cooking thermometer. Its unprecedented speed means Thermapen 1's responsiveness approaches the speed of thought. Because when you're plating the perfect menu or smoking the perfect side of barbecue, you don't have time to think about how your instant read thermometer is accurate to 0.5 degrees in 1 second or less, or how rugged and waterproof it is, or how big, elegant and bright the backlit display is. You'll just know it works, because our perfection powers your perfection. Seek perfection with Thermapen 1.
Hi, this is Greg Rempe, host of the Barbecue Central Show, and you're listening to the Pitmasters Podcast.
All right, Pitmasters on the show today. We have Steph Franklin of Simply Marvelous Barbecue, and if you don't know who he is, then you're not into competition barbecue. So you're in the wrong place, and there's plenty of other podcasts you can be listening to. But we do competition barbecue here, and if you haven't heard of Simply Marvelous Rubs, then hopefully by the end of this, you can pick some up, because now, Steph, I think everyone in the entire world that's a competitor uses your rubs. Am I right?
I would like to think so, but I'm sure there's others they use too.
I am not kidding. This is a true fact. I've been to 3 classes and with 2 Pitmasters each, so that's 6 Pitmasters. That's like Brad Leiniger, all the big ones, Jerry Aguilar, all those guys, and every single one of them in their class uses one of your products, and every single meat we use uses one of your products. And it's funny because Jared, he's our brisket guy, and he thinks Simply Spicy Apple is the greatest rub that's ever been made, right? And so we had to split teams down in St. George once to make it a qualifier. So he split off, and he took my Spicy Apple, and that's all he put on chicken. And what did he get, like 3rd place?
Yeah, he walked. Yeah,
and I think he put that and sweet and savory on, and that's it. And he's like, watch this.
It was untrimmed.
He just threw it on
with that rub only and walked.
So we have this thing with Spicy Apple. Like, he wants to put on everything. You know, he's like, all right, let's try some Spicy Apple on this. I'm like, all right, Jared, let's give it a shot.
Do it.
But we use Spicy Apple on ribs. We use pecan on pork. We use everything. Anyway, you know what, Steph? let's talk about you for a minute.
Sure.
So you are a barbecue competitor. You also own a spice company called Simply Marvelous. Where did all this come from?
Correct.
Where did you start your barbecue journey?
Well, I started getting into it heavily into it back in I want to say around 2000, and I started cooking for friends and little parties and stuff, and then it got to a point I started charging people. Then my grandparents passed back in 2005. They left me, believe it or not, this was a lot of money to them, but it's nothing these days, but it was something to me. They left me $13,000 and something, so I bought a rig. And that rig still sits out in my yard today, and I still cater from it. So I've made that money, who knows, 100-fold since then, you know. Probably more than that. But anyway, I never sat down and did the math. But I invested, I think, about $12,500 and started a barbecue business, along with tables and hot boxes and things of that nature. And I took the other $500 and I went to Mexico. Because I knew my grandparents, if I blew it, they would roll over in their graves. So anyway, that started it. And so I launched Simply Marvelous Barbecue. Simply Marvelous Barbecue came about because at the time I was living in Santa Barbara County, and It's the kiss of death to have any animal parts in your catering business, part of the logo. So that's how Simply Marvelous came about. That's how the genie came about. It was unoffensive. You know, we could just have a whole bunch of fun with the genie. So that's how that came about. Then I started developing rubs around the same time. I was just using sweet and spicy is the first rub I developed, and I used to use that on everything for catering, which I wouldn't do today. But this is when I'll start now. And so I used to just make it, and then I finally bottled it in 2008. That is seasonal, I believe, and it kind of exploded from there. Then I came out with cherry. I kind of came out with cherry pecan and cherry and pecan at the same time, which I try not to ever do again, but it worked. And they were just two unique rubs. And cherry is what put me on the map. In all honesty, that rub just put me on the map. It was, if you ever tasted other cherry rubs before, the ones I had tasted had this medicinal peel taste in the background, and mine didn't, and it was unique, and it just put me on the map. And then I'll tell you a funny story about Spicy Apple. Spicy Apple was developed for my fishing buddies. We were all on the boat one time, and they was like, "You need to make a rub for us, and we want a spicy apple." And voila, Spicy Apple was developed.
There you go, Jared. You now know the history of your favorite rub.
So
it's funny because he works at Barbecue Pit Stop. He works at a barbecue supply store. So I think if you look at Salt Lake City and your sales there, they're probably pretty good.
Yeah, I love Barbecue Pit Stop. They're one of my best customers. So, and then it just kept blossoming from there. Sweet Seduction. Sweet Seduction is probably the most unique rub ever made, if you ask me.
It's a good one.
So it was originally supposed to be a peach rub, but when I kept getting it back from my co-packer, it had that medicinal taste, and so the peach powder was just too much. It was overpowering it. In order to extract the peach flavor, or project the peach flavor from it. So I told her to back it off, and she sent me a sample with less of the peach powder in it. And I took it to Sam's Club in 2011 and won first place chicken with it. And I was like, that was the launch of Sweet Seduction. So I got all type of stories about that for every rub, but I just think that's a unique story. And
oh yeah, well, it's like, so like what do you think did it? I mean, because they're very popular rubs. They are. Well, especially where I'm from in Utah, everyone knows Simply Marvelous. Everyone that I know that on the circuit knows Simply Marvelous. Was it something that took off right away? Is it just like, whoa, that was crazy? Or what did it take to get these rubs out on the market where everyone knew what they were?
Let me tell you, you heard of Barbecue Brethren?
Yeah.
They made Simply Marvelous.
Oh, okay.
I was like a cult favorite on there in the mid 2000s, from 2009 to like 2016. Then forums started dying off, but I was everybody's like pretty much favorite rub, and so I just kept making them, and they were just, it was all over the internet. They did all the marketing for me. Then I teamed up with Big Papa Smokers, and that took it to another level. Because what I don't do well, you can't do everything in life well, and what I don't do well is branding. So Sterling was an excellent partner in that because he is excellent at branding. Mm-hmm. I'm a creator. That's what I do. It's sort of like you don't want a computer geek being a CEO, so you don't want somebody that's that has that creative drive like me, I don't have time to do the branding because the creation takes all my bandwidth. So I concentrate on creating, and I partner with other people or companies to do the branding. So that's where I'm at. I'm not. That's why I'm not part of the influencer craze, because it's just not me. And if you know anything about me, I'm gonna be me 100%. And I don't try to fake it. I tried doing videos. I do not enjoy doing them. So I left that alone, and I'll do some here and there. I did one or two, but I'm not really into it. I don't do the YouTube thing. I rather do live. I'm better live than I am recorded, video wise, because a lot of things I do is creation. It's I improvise so very well. So I try to stick to what I do well. At 55 years old, I'm not going to, start a new career. I'm not going to try to be an influencer. That's not what I'm good at. So I try to stick to what I'm good at. Creation is what I'm good at.
Well, obviously, you don't really need that much of it because, again, it's very popular, and you see so many rubs at the time that were great, and they've just kind of fallen off the wayside a little bit, whereas yours have kind of stood the test of time. Again, I'm taking these classes very recently, and I'm still taking classes, and I swear, Simply Marvelous comes up at almost at one point every time I'm taking a class. On one meet, it's everywhere. So even in steak lately with the pepper cow and things like that, I've been seeing a lot, right? And so
yeah, and I make rubs for other companies. So the guy at what was that, Bullhead City, who won steak, was using a prototype rub for me. Ed Williams from Sharp Gourmet.
Yeah.
So he took first and steak with it, and it'll be going under the Sharp Gourmet line of rubs that I've created for him.
And I'm pretty sure he used your rubs on the KCBS stuff too, which he won. So
yeah, he actually used my stuff and Sharp Gourmets, which I created for Sharp.
So that's a win-win for you.
Yeah, so it was kind of nice to see that happen back to back. I mean, I was hollering more than Ed was when he won, because he didn't go to awards. He was sitting from the Friday Night Steak Contest Awards. He was sitting over there with me because he had to finish up getting ready for the KCBS. So Woody went over there to awards, and I guess I could hear better than Ed, because I said, I think they just called your name for first place. But we're gonna wait until Woody get over here and see. And we saw Woody walking up with this big ass trophy and all this other stuff, so we knew. And we were just fist pumping, and I was just as happy for him, and he was happy for me because I trusted him to run with it. Other people tried to get the rub from me, I wouldn't give it to him. I'm like, trust Ed, and I'm gonna let Ed run with it. So, and they're gonna bottle it. I'm gonna let them bottle it. I have prototype 2 that I'm probably gonna bottle out under the Simply Marvelous name at some point. Which is just as good. It's just a little different, and I think you guys will like it.
How does that feel? Let's just look at Bullhead City that we were all at for a minute. I know of so many cooks down there personally that did well. I know one of the top 3 teams that uses your rub. Is that weird to kind of just know that all these people are using your product? How does that feel every time you're going? Is that something you're still in awe of, or is it just kind of, yeah, I know everyone uses my stuff. It's cool.
Well, I'm not in awe anymore. I'm appreciative. Mm-hmm. So that's a little different. I mean, when it first started happening back in 2012, I was in awe. Now I'm appreciative. I appreciate the longevity that I've had and the continuity of people winning has been awesome. I mean, we've had Jack winners, American Royal winners using my stuff, Sam Club winners using my stuff. I've done well in KCBS at times. I don't cook that much, so I cook more for fun. I'm not as competitive as that's a lie. I'm still competitive, but I realize I'm realistic. I know I'm cooking under 10 times a year now. And the last 2 years, I probably cooked 8 times because of COVID. So, and I'm a streaky cook. When I get hot, I get hot. When I get cold, I get cold, So I'm kind of in the middle right now with my cooking. I just started off the new year. I hadn't cooked since June, and I went there, didn't even practice. I just went. I was like, this is my practice cook, because
he's kind of in that. He's kind of in that mode, like when we had Harry. You're kind of in that mode like we had Harry Sue on the show. He was talking. He went from student to sensei. I think you're in sensei mode now. You're transitioning into watching your students grow and contributing and helping them grow in the competitive world, and you're stepping back just a little bit.
Yeah. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of irons in the fire, and I just can't put all my energy towards competing anymore like I used to. Let me tell you something. I got the Jones again, so watch out.
Oh, man.
Well, when you were on a tear, you were on a tear. I don't think there was ever a time where you weren't top 10, top 5 at a contest.
Oh yeah, it's good times, but
for like a good 3 years, I would say. So
yeah, and you slip, and then I bounced back. I had a rough year in 2016. I lost it, and I fought it and got it back in 17 and 18, and was able to GC those years. And keep in mind, I'm doing 15, 12 comps. So, but I'm an honorary bastard. So if I do bad, I'm going to tell you something. If I do bad, that makes me want to cook more. Where some people will retreat, I will lash out. So
it's motivation, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that we used spicy apple on our ribs. We got 6th place at Bullhead City. That was our first time we got a call in Arizona ever. And Arizona so long, so Simply Apple helped us get that Arizona call. So that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. I didn't care if it was the 10th place call
and to beat me.
To beat him in pork, but I did both things. So for me, that was a win. Yeah. You might as well give me the GC. I was as happy.
That win kicked my ass. I was trying a new method of cooking on the WSM, and I cracked the lid to try to keep it going. And I had the WSM behind the trailer, and it must have spiked because my ribs was so dry. I had 2 racks that were just burnt. Basically, the sugar's burnt, so that tells me I was over 300 cooking. So they were dry. They sucked. They looked pretty, but they sucked. I mean, it really sucked. And I was at the bottom of the pack. And had I not, everybody can say this about a category usually, but I'd have been in the top 10 easily had I turned in decent ribs. But that was the first time in Bullhead City I wasn't in the top 10. Bullhead's been good to me, so I'll be back.
That win is brutal, and apparently that's how it is all the time.
The year before that, the time before that, it was as bad, and we didn't have a trailer then. We were just in a tent, and I have video, and it looks like we're in the Wizard of Oz, just trying to get our brisket done, and just. I was like, you were there, and you were there.
That was some of the worst win I ever cooked in. That was pretty bad. Yep. But hey, no excuses.
Right?
That's just experience.
It was an equal playing field. I got my ass kicked.
The worst I ever had was in Montana, where it was not only windy like that, but raining too, and cold and awful. And we RGC'd it, so you never know. Just do your cook, do your best. You just have to pay more closer attention. That's all.
Yep.
But
but chicken and ribs, I was fine. It was the ribs that really killed me.
Yeah, we had a really good brisket, and we got bottom of the pack. I mean, like almost not last place, but damn close. And I didn't understand. I don't understand. I was like, what? Why? I just
good brisket.
Normally, I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. That brisket, I don't know. Arizona, I love Arizonians. Again, let me clarify. Anyone who lives in Arizona I have the utmost respect for. But I just don't know where you guys are eating your barbecue. You know, like what? I don't know the judges. What are they doing? Like going to Sizzler and going, this rib is fantastic.
Oh man. Oh man, you just bashed all the judges in Arizona.
Well, good. They bashed me. They bashed me.
True.
So you primarily cook out of California. What are some of the really good contests to do down there that you really like that you never miss?
Santa Anita. That still exists. Santa Anita. Ironstone. I get to fish at Ironstone, so that's top 2, of course.
Nice.
Santa Anita, Ironstone. I'm gonna say those 2 for right now. I enjoy cooking Lodi.
He's having a hard time filtering all those competitions out there.
Yeah,
What about San
lost so
Diego?
many times, and now we have new ones. You know, we have new ones that replaced them. So we lost a lot of Golden State Battle, of course.
Do you like the northern or the southern version? Because the northern for me was really cool. It's on that lake.
Well,
You can fish there.
look, I like both of them, but the southern version, I can get there in an hour. I like the Golden State Battle when I was president of the California Barbecue Association. And that's how we got at Lake Cachuma, because that's one of our local lakes. And that's...
Oh, cool.
I'm up there all the time fishing, so I kind of know the rangers, and that's how all that took place.
So when you fish, what are you fishing for? Are you a bass fisherman or are you there you go. So my dad growing up was on the Pitmasters circuit. So we used to bass fish all the time. Yeah, we used to have just, get sits and do our thing and just go fishing all the time. That was the thing.
So
yeah, I'm usually up there about once a week.
Oh, really?
If not fishing there, I'm on the ocean fishing. So I'm a big fisherman.
Well, if you ever come out to Utah, we'll have to change that up for you a little bit. Put you on a wood boat with the fly rod down the Green River. See how that is.
I've never done fly fishing, and I heard I got to try it. So
especially on the Green River coming out of Flaming Gorge,
it's fun. So my friend does tour. He's a fish guy down there, and we do it all the time. And I'm a bass fisherman at heart because I love it. It's for me. I hate to say this because everyone's going to rip me for it. I just think there's more skill involved in a bass fishing. It's harder to get them. There's so much more to bass. Are just I feel like smarter fish. But just floating down a river and just hanging out and throwing those flies, man. It's just so relaxing. Yeah. It's so nice. It's just sitting out there and just a man in his thoughts. Yep.
Yep.
In the middle of a river,
trying to figure out what bugs active in that area.
Yeah, cicadas.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy has a bass boat, so he don't like to go unless I go. So it's we go once or twice a week. Yeah.
So I usually go with my dad still. He made me buy a G Loomis a pole, and you know how expensive they can get.
It's a rod.
Sorry.
Rods are for fishing, poles are for dancing.
Oh, gotcha. And he doesn't take me out anymore. So I have this really nice rod sitting there. I haven't gone out in so long. I miss it. I need to get out there and go more. It's fun.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
Good eats, man. Woo! Are you catch and release guy, or do you take some home?
Freshwater, I'm catch and release. And saltwater, I'm like 50-50. I release a lot of times. I bring some home. It's just me and my wife and my pup. So I'm one of those people, if I'm not going to eat it, I don't kill it.
Got it.
Good call.
Yeah, my dad would bring them home all the time. We just get a little flour, some lemon pepper in it, and that was it. And fry them in oil.
Woo. Done. Same oil, huh? For like the whole summer.
I don't know.
No. I don't know. I'm just guessing on your history.
No.
You never know. You're always like,
we were poor, but not that poor.
Come on. All right. Fresh oil.
That's anyway. So when it comes to competition barbecue, obviously you've had so much success in that realm as well. What are the kind of the things you feel like was there ever a time where did you just kind of start out like, I got this is good? Or is there a time where you just kind of came out and, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. It all clicked. And if that did happen, when was that moment for you that everything just kind of clicked into place and you knew that you could be successful in competition barbecue?
2012. 2012. I cooked about 12 times that year. And I was like, I kept knocking on the door. I kept getting top 10. I had one meter to screw me up at every comp. We were at Santa Anita in the fall, and I got a 1-3-1-3. And at the time, that was the highest score in California history. I scored, which was a 690 something, 690 or something. Then the next comp was at in Vista, California, and I got RGC. And there was a lot of big hitters there at the time. You had Big Papa, Big Skin. Ryan Newstrom was there. And so I was like, okay, you wanted something. Then the next comp was a doubleheader, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And I took a butt whipping. And I got humbled real quick. And I'll never forget this text. Ryan Newstrom texted me, and he said, "Cook with a vengeance," for the next day. And I GC'd it. I had like first and ribs, first and chicken, and third and I don't know. I forgot but it was anyway. Then that became the next biggest score in California history. And I was gonna cook like when I get my ass kicked, I'll cook like a vengeance. I won't talk to nobody. I'm locked in. But just to hear him say he was a big name team at the time, texting me like, just cook with a vengeance. And I just locked in. My friend was like, "Oh man, chill out." I was pissed off I lost. My buddy was like, "Just chill out." And I just said, "Hey man, let me do me. I cook good when I'm pissed. Watch." And so the next day I GC. And I did all right. And then I fell off again in 2013. Started sucking again. And I took a month or two off. And I was top 5 again the rest of the year. It clicked again.
What was it?
You got to step away from things sometimes and think. If you're cooking every week and you keep doing the same thing wrong, it's not helpful. So the best thing for me is sometimes to just I know I talked about earlier that I want to cook more, but fortunately for me, I had some catering gigs that's, took precedence over me doing the competition. I got to make money so I can keep cooking, right? I took a couple months off, and we went to this place called Wood Lake, California. It was hot as Hades, muggy as hell, in the middle of nowhere, and I just cooked my ass off. And I got 4th. And then the contest after that, I RGC'd, and the contest after that, I RGC'd, and I pretty much wrapped up the year. And I think I finished 3rd in California that year, 1st in chicken. Somebody gave me a chicken recipe during that little interim. Because I'd always been a good chicken cook, but it fell off. And they was like, "Okay, this is what the judges want. Just do this." I tried it, and 2nd place right out. And then the next week, 1st place, and and so on. So, cook with a vengeance, but also know when to take a break and think about things too.
So cook with a vengeance.
I like that.
What is that exactly? Is that just like, what kind of mentality is that? Is that just like you said, just leave me the hell alone, let me cook my cook, and just like head down, I'm in this game, and that's it? Or what is it like? Is it more just like, like what kind of mentality to get into that, to make that happen?
Well, you cook like you got your ass kicked. So it's telling you to be humble, but bounce back and hit hard. So that's what Cook with a Vengeance means to me. You know, get the judges back. They beat your ass the day before. You kick their ass the next day or the next time you cook. And it also means to focus. So, because sometimes you get hot and you lose your humility, meaning that you get a little you get too big for your britches, as my grandmother used to say. So a little ass kicking is good from time to time. Not too much now, but from time to time, it's good to get your ass kicked.
I like that. I like it.
It's like you said, it's something when you win, you're like, cool. And it's fun because someone told me once you GC, then you feel there's a confidence there. You can do it. You've been there, you've done it. And it gives you a level of confidence in every cook thereafter. Like, okay, I've done it. I know I can. It takes one of those stresses off. But then again, but at the same time, you got to keep that mentality. And it's, barbecue, I don't think, or just competitions in general, competition anywhere, but in food, it is a mental game. If you're not on mentally, you're going to have to get damn lucky, to win anything or do well. It's just, it takes that focus to stay on everything, to know where you're at. Timelines help with that and all that. You can do so many of those. You can only do so much of that. But if you're not intensely focused on every step, you're not going to do well. There's times where I'm just like, I don't know, I get there and you're just not feeling it. And those scores will reflect that, And if you're just
I'm famous for having a couple of cocktails on Friday night, and at a certain time, everybody turns around and Steph is gone. I used to be famous.
Oh man!
I even slammed my camper door on people before, like, "Fuck off! I gotta go to bed." Come on,
I like it.
Slam the door. And they just laugh because that's just me.
I like it.
I'll have a couple with you, but I'm not gonna. I know you got to know your boundaries. You got to know your limits, and that's just me.
I'm not good without sleep. If I don't get sleep, But then again, a contest, I have so high anxiety that I'll go to bed at 9 and fall asleep at 1, wake up at 4, kind of thing. But you have to power through it. But I don't do anything. I don't drink anyway. But if I did. I just wouldn't contest, it's I have to get there. I watch videos, like I'll sit there and just go through a class that I like, maybe on like Barbecue League or something, and it doesn't have to do with anything of the meat, just getting that mentality and just sit there and just get into that head space. And I wake up and I do like meditation stuff, I just kind of calm myself. And so in the middle of a competition, I'm just like zened in, that's kind of where I'm at these days. I have to be zened in and I'm just super hyper focused. And that's why in Bullhead I was so frustrated because we decided to vend, and I'll never do that again because all that concentration that you're trying to focus on is just you're over here, and you're just like, oh,
so sporadic.
You can't do it.
I'll tell you this story too. We used to go to these contests back in early 2010, 11, and I met Johnny Trigg a couple of times, and Johnny Trigg told me, he's like, Steph, you want to win? Don't vend. I've never vended since.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Take that in, Rusty.
No, I won't do it again.
I'll make a T-shirt for you to wear on comp days. Don't vend.
If I do, I'm going to hire a couple people to go down, and they're going to do it like way down there. And if something starts on fire, it's on them. It's not on me. But I won't.
Within a year of that, I won my first GC. So people give you nuggets all the time, but if you don't use them, what's the use?
Right. Exactly. If you're not open to that stuff, you have to be open to all those things. Like I always try and play that, oh, cool. And I always just want to learn. I always want to take something from somebody. And, sometimes you learn on your own the hard way, like not to vend in Bullhead City, So
your percentages go extreme. It's already hard to win.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, go ahead and vend so I can beat you.
I remember the first time I competed with you. I think it was very recently, actually. I think. And I was like, oh crap. Like I hate this. I know I shouldn't do this. But I roll in and I get that I'm much better at it now, but I'll get to the point where I'll roll in and just see the teams, and I'm just like, oh man, freaking Somebody Marvelous is here, like here, so-and-so's here. Oh, getting bases coming down. Great. There's slaps, and it just gets in my head. And I've gotten a lot better, but that's again, something that you got to get over, just like, focused on too much, of who's there instead of beating yourself, and you're really there just to beat yourself and just cook better than you did last time. And that's the best that you can do. And, and it's just all about a mindset. It really is, the mindset that you have. Is there anything that you do that gets you into that? I mean, are you someone who follows a strict guideline? Obviously a lot of people do, but some people, I'm talking to you, Jerry Aguilar, are just completely obsessed with their timelines. What's something like that makes you get into that zone and help you focus throughout that contest?
Well, first I'm going to speak to what you said earlier about seeing other teams, big name teams, and getting that intimidation factor. One thing about me, I've never been intimidated by anybody. I don't know where the hell I get that from, but I've always had this thing about nobody can kick my ass like I can kick my ass.
100%.
So you got to exercise your own demons. And I've said that on other podcasts before. And if people don't take those nuggets, they're crazy. That's been part of the key to my success. I mean, I don't fear no one. So
as you shouldn't, because you're only, like you said, you're only competing against yourself. You can only beat yourself on your next cook.
Yeah, I mean, and nobody can kick my ass like I can kick my ass. Just remember that. It's true. So I don't worry about nobody else. I just cook my cook, and wherever I fall, that's where I fall. As long as I don't beat my own ass, I'm fine.
Then he has two drinks and then slams the door in people's faces and gets in the mindset.
But
so does that make so like what puts you into that mindset in the day? Like I said, I have to take time to myself at night and watch those videos, or maybe in the morning I'll wake up with my coffee and I just sit there and just do breaths, and just relax and get into the zone. What is it that you do to get yourself into that mindset every contest?
Well, I've done over 100 and some contests, so it's not hard. I know what to expect. It's experience. It's experience. It's having that mindset I talked about earlier, and knowing your limits. Knowing if you're gonna drink alcohol, if you're gonna smoke cannabis, you know how much you can have and function the next day. So if whatever you do, or how long you can stay up just chatting with folks, you got to know your boundaries, your limits. That's the critical piece right there. I don't practice a lot. I should. I just don't usually have the time, and I don't want to spend the money practicing all the time. So sometimes I'll practice when I do tastings for weddings. They want ribs, and I'll do a comp style on purpose. My wife just refuses to eat comp barbecue, so it's just a waste. But I'm probably going to comp practice a little bit because I got to fix my ribs. I think the other meats will be just fine, but I finished last season doing well in ribs, and it fell back off. So I got to pick that up. So I'll find a reason to practice those. But it's just experience. I mean, the bottom line is experience. It's just mindset, not being afraid. I mean, when I started out, I used to get my behind kicked all the time. I still wasn't afraid. I kept coming back. I got good in one meat. I mean, the first meat I got good at was pork. I mean, pork was like the first meat I ever got a call in. The first meat I ever got first place in. So, and I just and then chicken took off, then ribs and brisket. So it just all at some point everything is going to come together if you keep at it. Yeah, I mean it's just, but the mindset is huge. Just not fear no one.
I agree with that.
Can I give you some advice real quick on ribs?
Yeah.
Steph, try some spicy apple or some Simply Marvelous pecan. You know what I'm saying? Just, I highly recommend those two products for you. Could really step up your game.
No,
but burning them.
Oh man, no, but I agree with that. You gotta take into know your limits. Like when I used to compete, I used to tell people, "Come out, take this comp food away off me. You know, just get rid of it. You know." But then Rusty told me one day, he goes, "You know why you're not winning right now?" I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you have too many damn people in your tent." I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." So from that day forward, my scores went up, and nobody was in my tent. And now sometimes it takes somebody to tell you some shit like that, like, "Hey, you're messing up over here. Get your head back in the game." And that's exactly what happened. From that day forward, I only have select few that are allowed in my tent.
Remember that you were doing Lion Energy, you were with them. Like, man, it was like a circus. I felt like I would have been, if I was just walking in that contest, I'm like, "Oh man, is that Brad Pitt over there? Who's that entourage?"
Right.
Who's around that dude?
But yeah, after you told me that, I was like, wait a second, he's right. Get my head game straight. Get everybody out. Let me do me.
Yeah. Yep. I hang out with a select few people at a comp because that's part of it. You know, I don't run around going to every site having shots and all that. I don't got time for all that. I rarely do the morning shot because I never drink before 5 o'clock. And even though it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but I just don't do it. I just need my clear thoughts in the morning. So, yeah. My biggest advice to people is just knowing yourself and what you can do and what you cannot do.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's for me, it's a mental game. You have to be in it, but you also have to cook well. You have to have good recipes and things like that. So coming back and kind of bringing the past two things together, your rubs and then competition. When let's say someone wants to do struggling with let's just say ribs. Like I said, we use spicy apple on our ribs. What are some other options you would give someone as far as your line goes that you would put on ribs for competition? And I'm actually asking for myself really because
he's looking for tips.
I'm looking for tips here. Maybe pork too. Throw pork in there too.
Okay, let me just say this, and I don't know if this is answering your question or not, but it comes to my mind. So when I've struggled over the years, I don't add things. I take things away.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, 100%. Sometimes you can get so far gone listening to what other people are using to win and all this other stuff, you start polluting your proteins. And so what I've done when I start struggling is I start pulling the rub out of my recipe. I'll just go back to straight basics and work on tenderness. That helps. I've always taken something away, and it's always helped.
And see, that's a good point. That's excellent because that's what I did with my ribs. I had to take away things, and now I'm doing well. And I went through a hard time with ribs for a good 5 or 6 contests where I was just like, man, I need to scrap this whole thing. And then, like you said, I was like, you know what? Does it really need this? Let me back that thing off completely, and I'll take something out of the wrap, or I'll take something out of the finishing, or I'll just dumb down some of the stuff. We'll put whatever we're finishing with, let's just say barbecue sauce, right? We're just putting way too much on, and we don't realize it. It doesn't need a lot of rub. It doesn't need a lot of sauce, and you don't need a lot of things to make those happen. Along the way, we did, like you said, people are like, oh, well, so-and-so's using that. I'm going to put that in. Next thing you know, you got 5 things in your wrap, and you're like, do I really need these things? It would be interesting if I backed off this apple juice and see what happens. And then you do it and you're like, I can taste pork now,
Mm-hmm.
Totally good point there.
Always have a foundation. The foundation, you got to have a baseline or foundation, as I like to call it, of if I'm struggling, where do I go back to? so that I can build up again.
I like it.
Then you can start adding things up once you find it again. You can start trying to. I'm just trying to. I've never been one to shoot for first place. I just shoot for top 10. Just let that take care of itself, because that's a crap shoot. Anyway, so you just shoot. You want to be. I'll take 5th in every category, every contest, and I'll win half of the contest. Simple as that. Because I find if you trying to shoot for first place, that's when you screw up. You start going for home runs. I like to hit singles and doubles.
Get on base.
He plays Moneyball.
Get on base.
Moneyball barbecue.
I like that.
He went from West Coast offense to Moneyball.
If you swing for hits, sometimes those hits gonna turn into home runs anyway. So I try to bat for average, not for home runs. I don't want to be Dave Kingman.
Right. Man, I like that.
Y'all might be too young for that, but I don't want to have a whole bunch of strikeouts. I want a high batting average. That's what I aim for. It don't always happen, of course. Sometimes I turn into Dave Kingman, but I just go for base hits.
So to kind of rephrase that last question a little bit, what if someone was cooking chicken? What's something you would recommend them to put on as far as your line goes? What's something that you use?
I use Trinity. I tell everybody that. That's no secret. I use straight Trinity.
And what about ribs?
Do you really want to know based on my scores? I use spicy apple and usually pecan.
I know a lot of people right now that are using pecan on ribs and on pork and absolutely crushing. I mean, a good amount of people. In fact, you can go on KCBS right now and look at the top 5, and I know 2 of them are using that product. So I'm not going to say names just to be respectful, but I'm telling you right now, pecan right now is hot. So if you guys aren't using that on your pork, you need to start right now. What about brisket? Is that just like a peppered cow kind of situation? Or what are you using on that?
I use peppered cow seasoned all with cash cow. And Big Papa's beef injection.
Yeah. Did I say that?
That is the exact thing I put on my second SCA cook.
That is really
my
good
second
stuff.
steak ever.
Yep.
So
that's what I use. I've been using that since 2015. That's the same recipe I've been using.
That's a good one. I love peppered cow.
Keeping it basic.
I am a huge fan of your rubs, by the way. I'm not just talking.
No, he is.
You have to know, like my rubs over there. I have all of them. We use them all the time. We're always talking about them. Jared, like I said, he's obsessed. I swear to God, if I was to take spicy apple off our ribs or pecan off our pork, he would quit the team, and he would absolutely just leave. So if you're out there, this obviously Simply Marvelous is on my top 3 favorite rubs of all times as far as competition goes. And I use it at home for steak specifically. But just so you know, I'm not like being like, I'm actually a huge fan of your stuff. So we use it all the time. And like I said, guys, if you're out there and you're listening to this, all the top guys are using Simply Marvelous. There's so many people out there just killing it with it. Specifically spicy apple, pecan, peppered cow, or the punch people, Trinity that I hear all the time. Sweet Seduction, I hear that one often.
Yeah. So I guess when I jump back into KCBS, I'm just going to go buy the whole Simply Marvelous line. And
I haven't tried cherry yet, honestly. I know that's cherry number 1, right? I haven't ever tried it. I need to.
I'm pretty sure
that used to be number 1. Spicy apple is my number 1 seller. Cherry, I used to use the ribs in the wrap. I might go back to that. Maybe I can go back to that. I don't know. But I finished 3rd in the nation in KCBS and ribs using that in my wrap. In ribs, 2015, and remember I said sometimes you got to go back to your basics. So I might have to go back to my basics. We'll see. I mean,
it was weird because I remember that. What's that?
I said cherry's good to go though.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
Does that cherry give it a nice mahogany color? Is that what helps with the color? Why you put it in the wrap? Just curious. Yeah.
Yes.
Gives it that nice red pop. I like it.
They beautify the ribs.
I remember the first time I was looking at it, I was like, okay, I'm just going to try this. And I open it and I smell it and I'm like, okay, all right. And it's like the smell, it's funny because you can usually smell a rub. I'm like, okay, you get a decent idea. And then with the Simply Marvelous line, I've noticed this is weird. I don't know if anyone else has mentioned this, but I smell it doesn't taste anything like it does on the food. Like it's a completely different thing. It's super strange. So if you're out there and you're like, it does. Trust me, it pops once it's on that meat. It's crazy. And that was like the weirdest thing. I remember commenting on that on the podcast before, but yeah, it's good stuff. But I always thought that was weird. I'm like, this doesn't smell anything like it tastes like on my ribs.
I want to give it a shot. Because I like cherry rub. I like apple and cherry blend together. I like the flavor.
That's a good combination.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Apple and cherry.
That'd be good.
Apple and cherry.
So, and you don't just do competitions. You don't just do rubs. I mean, you're out there. You mentioned you cater. Is that still something you do often?
Not as much as I used to. I pick and choose more what I want to do now. I'm fortunate enough to have good partnerships with Snake River Farms and Sharpwell Make Cooking Woods. I make rubs for those companies. I don't have to cater as much as I used to. So I get to fish more. I cater basically to go fishing for fishing money. So, I like it. Yeah. So, I don't know if you tried the Snake River Farm line of rubs yet, but I'm doing some good things with them, and they're selling like crazy. One of the rubs was featured in.
So what are you doing with Snake River Farms exactly? What?
I create rubs for them.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So as I was saying, one of them, the steak rub, was featured in Oprah's Favorites last year, and that just blew everything up. I mean, like, we couldn't keep up.
All right. Well, she gives everybody.
I've created a rosemary rub for them, a pork rub for them, Santa Maria rub, and a brisket rub. So I have 5 rubs with Snake River Farms. We're about to, I believe, probably this summer sometime, launch sauces with them. So I got we got some things up our sleeve, and that's, like I said, that's my niche in the barbecue world. I create versus trying to influence. I create and let my creation influence people.
That's really cool, because you think, I hate to say this, and again, I'm probably wrong, but when you think of someone like Snake River Farms and like, oh, they have seasoning, every single time that happens, I think, oh, they're just a big company that they just throw a seasoning together and just get it out, just to sell it, just to have it. Oh, that tastes good, fine. But then to learn that you're behind this rub, that's fantastic. Like that means they're actually putting a lot of effort into making this stuff really good. That's
I like
cool.
it.
Their stuff is bomb.
I'm gonna have to try it
because you made it. So.
Well, there is that. But no, I'm joking. I put some time and effort with it, and we're doing good business with it. So
cool.
Yeah.
I never would have known. That's fantastic. That's really cool. So maybe I should stop judging those companies.
You're gonna go buy the whole line now.
Maybe. I'm so rubbed out right now. It's insane. But yeah, I might have to. Check. I'm gonna be less. Get it?
Oh man.
Oh no.
I have some other potential big companies that I'm maybe working with in the future, creating for them. I won't be disclosing that at this time, but it's all potential, and this is part of the business model I have is creation.
So, question: Why no sauces?
Well, I do have sauces probably coming out.
Okay.
This summer with Snake River Farms.
Just with Snake Rivers, this won't be for Simply Marvelous.
I
Breaking news.
So. Like I said, I think the model I have working right now is better in terms of you can't. I can't replicate the branding that Snake River Farms can do. So, from a business perspective, there's going to be more profit going with Snake River Farms than it is Simply Marvelous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're freaking huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about
it. Right.
So
that's cool. So the future for you, you have some more stuff coming out with different companies. Obviously, more with Snake River Farms. What's next for you as far as competition goes? Is it something like you said you're kind of feeling the fire again? You're going to start stepping up and doing more comps, or?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I was talking to Sterling Ball the other day, and he was like, "What comps are you doing?" I was like, "I'm only doing about 8 or 10, man." He was like, he said, so we started counting. He's like, "You fucker, you got up to 20 out here." I was like, "Oh no, I ain't doing all of those." But we got a lot of double headers going on out here this year. So I know I'm doing Santa Anita. That's a double header. Lodi is a double header. There's, I think, a comp in Bishop and Fresno that's double headers. I think Ironstone is a double header. It's crazy this year. I'm like, why? And okay, so I did a double header 2 weeks ago, and mind you, I'm 55 now. I'm not in my 40s no more. And usually a double header, man, I'm like ready to go after that. You know, I'm tired, but I'm like the next weekend, I was like, this time, I guess I hadn't cooked. I'm not in comp shape, if there's such a thing. You know, barbecue.
There is absolutely such a thing. 100%.
Yeah. I was in traction basically the 2 days following Golden State Battle at Lake Kachuma. I was like, man, this sucks. I was sore. I did some stupid shit while I was there. I loaded the smokers by myself. And Lady Q's husband, Greg, was like, why the hell you do that? I could have came over here. I said, man, I'm 55. I got to see if I still can do it. I just had to do it. I said, I did it, and I'm done. I'm getting help from now on because I think that hurt my legs. You know, the next day. But anyway.
Are you going to do Yuma in 2 weeks, or you're not doing that one?
The one in Yuma?
Yeah.
No, my wife got me on lockdown that weekend.
I got you.
Going to Monterey with friends. So.
I was going to do it. I had to pull out. But, man, I was looking at last year's, and everyone freaking does that. It's like in Yuma. Go away, people. Getting basted. I'm looking at you. Like, go away. Like, leave us West Coasters alone. You guys trip over a contest up there in the Midwest. Go. Stay away from the West.
Yeah.
It's our comps. It's our comps, even though he got hammered in that one. But yeah, that's cool. That
was dry for me, so I was like, okay, I'm going to Monterey. But I'll start hitting it heavy in March, starting March, into March. Yeah, it's a lot going on. So I probably do 10 to 12, 14. Who knows? Who knows, man? I'm just going to let it happen.
Let it simmer. See what happens.
Yeah, there you go. Well, cool, man. We'll let you get out of here and enjoy the rest of your night. But man, I can't tell you how much we appreciated having you come on and chat with us about these rubs. Again, I'm a huge fan. I would say Jared's a bigger fan than me. He's kind of a super fan, I would say. He never listens to this podcast, but I guarantee you this is the one he'll listen to.
He's have it on repeat.
It's funny. It's like, I'm going to get, do you have a shirt? All right. Do you have a Simply Apple shirt? Maybe I can buy for him. Is that something you can come up with?
What I tell you earlier, I suck at branding.
he will be sad. All right, man. Well, hey, we appreciate your time. It was a lot of fun. That was fun.
Appreciate it. Yep.
All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for having me.
See ya.
That's Steph Franklin was Simply Marvelous. Yeah, he nailed that one.
Yeah, you did. So I don't know if you guys know behind the scenes. So we end. I'm just going to tell you. We end the intro, right? So we do the interview first, then we do the intro after, and then we do this part at the end.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll do the intro, right? We'll talk about it, and I stop the recording and I start it instantly. So when Anthony goes by, he has 0.5 seconds to recover to go to the outro and say those names. And that's why I try to do it as fast as I can so I can screw them up.
Right.
That's just so you guys know how the podcast world works in the background. That's how we do it.
That's how we do it.
So that said, guys, you can follow us at the Pitmasters Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook. You can go to the pitmasterspodcast.com to listen to episodes and all sorts of different stuff on there. You can follow me at Salt City Barbecue on Instagram and Facebook and all the things. And you can follow Anthony at Smoking No Joke on Instagram, Facebook, and all the things as well. We appreciate your support and you guys hanging out with us all the time, and look forward to more coming up this year. It was fun.
All right.
See you next week. We'll see you then.